hero.
Have you any hobbies?
My hobbies are fast cars and fast women.
Hobbies are healthy. They teach you things.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Hey, welcome in, everybody. It is Around the UFL this Monday after Conference Championship weekend. And oh my goodness, what a weekend it was. And what a weekend it definitely was for, at least to what I'm seeing to me on here. I think you're seeing on your top screen. No, never mind. It messed up on the stream. But top row on my screen shows the Championship 3 that is me, Jake, and Nick. Meanwhile, you guys are getting a bit of a disjointed one. That's okay. It's time to talk championship. We're going to talk about the week that was, of course, in the UFL and a few other nuggets and things that have come up over the course of the last 24 hours and over this past week. But I got to go around the horn, and I'll do it via the stream screen, if you will. So on my right on the stream is James Larson, who I'll be honest with you, I got to recommit and say your commitment to this is fantastic because you were already down and there for a game just yesterday, and talking behind the scenes, no curtain. You never miss a show, and this one I have to applaud you. You found a way to get on, even with the extreme travel conditions you had to get through. I congratulate you. How are you feeling? Are you awake? What are you riding on right now?
I'm shocked I did all of that on less than 4 hours of sleep and no caffeine, no energy drinks, but here we are. I'm honestly feeling pretty good. You know why? Because it's championship weekend. It's playoff football. I mean, it was electric down there in Birmingham. I'm so glad I got to go to that game. I think I kind of picked the right game to go to, for being honest, at least when it comes to the competition and the overall excitement throughout. So I'm really happy with the result. I think it's a good thing for Michigan, especially with the way that market's been ramping up as of late during the championship now, and it's going to be a good one next week. I'm excited.
Oh, baby, it's going to be a good one. I love the matchup. I love the vibes of it. And you know what? Going to Jake, I got to say, cheers to you, my friend. Crack open a cold one because, man, it's great to finally get over the hump, at least for one thing. We got some more work to do, but, hey, the big, bad beast that is down south has been slain. Now we got to take on Nick's team, which, beating an opponent twice in a row is harder than doing it the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking too far ahead. I'll let the team, figure out their path to victory on Saturday. But for now, I'm going to celebrate finally, like you said, getting that monkey off the back and knocking, themselves a punching ticket into the championship game. So looking forward to that and trying to figure out how I'm going to make getting down to St. Louis work because I don't want to miss that.
Yeah, you and I got to link up, and we're currently on behind the scenes here talking about ways to kind of get the collective championship fans together for one big tailgate out there with our folks that are league fans out in St. Louis too, and Battlehawks fans. You're free to come along. It's okay. It's in your hometown. Stop by. Meanwhile, though,
this is probably the last chance that they'll be able to participate because, without them in the championship, the league is folding. So, you know what? St. Louis might as well show out.
Some folks have their thoughts on that. We've seen it's been a fun day on Twitter last 24 hours. Before I go and hit up Nick here, I got to ask, what are you drinking, man? Because I'm the simpleton with the PBR. So what do you got?
Got me some Old Pepper bourbon. Some really good stuff.
Nice.
It's become one of my favorites as of late, and nothing too hot, so nothing I'm not going to get sloshed, at least not on stream.
I'm gonna have to hunt that one down. On the bottom right of my screen on our stream, it is the other side of the victory formation. It is Nick Thorne. Nick, congrats, man! You have punched your ticket to play us this Saturday night over in the Lou, and you did it while playing in the Lou, which DC seems to have a knack for doing that very well. How you feeling?
It's great. We get a home game for the championship in Audi West. That's yeah, I mean, great game. Fired up about it. DC's made it to the championship now 2 of the last 3 years. Jordan Teamu, obviously there was there was the bad interception, but all in all had an elite game, and I'm just fired up. We're get one more opportunity here, and hopefully it goes a little bit better than it did the first time against Arlington a few years ago. So just excited.
Just for today, we'll be a little more buddy, and then gotta go our separate ways getting ready for that championship. But I'll ask you, celebrate. What are you drinking today, man? You got anything? You just doing water?
I don't have a drink with me, honestly.
That's okay. It's okay. You're drinking. You're drinking the spirit of victory. That's what I'm gonna give you.
The tears of St. Louis fans, maybe. I don't know.
There it is. The Midwestern rain.
We can all cheers.
27,000.
Oh, boy. Well, congrats to you. We get to talk about that in a moment. And finally, on the other side, my resident Panthers ally, as I'm going to start calling him as we lead up to the road to summer stock. And as you can see, I'm being friendly to you today. Look what I got in my hat. Just for you, Mr. Referee. Oh, there it is. He's muted, too, so he's not even saying anything. Maybe he'll fix it so he can get the bid in. Hurry. He's still muted.
No one wants to hear that anyway.
Oh, my God, no. He's trying to fish.
It's charades.
This is what happens when the Roughnecks miss the playoffs for a second straight season.
I think he's saying he's trying to reel me in to being a Roughnecks fan, which I don't think is going to happen ever.
How does he not understand what is happening?
I can't tell if he's doing this as a bit or not. You know what? He'll come in. I'm going to continue the conversation. We'll see how this panel goes the other side. Feel free.
No. He's still going.
Doesn't realize it all.
Oh my God! Are you guys not gonna tell me?
I'm sitting here. You kept going. We told you multiple times, and you just kept going.
How did you not?
Look, this has got to be a bit by now.
Well, because I thought that was my bit. I was just gonna keep talking over you guys.
Kept pointing at your screen. That's hilarious. What was the fishing rod thing?
Man, what a wasted segment that was. I was like, oh man, Zach's got my bit about the hat. And then you said something along the lines, but look at what I got on my hat. Houston Gamblers. I said, oh yeah, look what I got on my hat. And I slapped on this, and I went into the whole thing about how I was reeling you in the whole time. I am the Panther, the number one Panthers fan. Here just in time.
Honestly, I think the bit with you being silent was better. So
imagine this, Zachy boy. We're real close to getting in a car ride together, hours upon hours. You and the Panther Oh, we're going all the way there. And then we're going to be, we're dropping this thing Friday night. But then Saturday, we haven't really talked about it. More details coming this week. Summer Stock Tailgate, friends of the community, friends of everywhere. So we'll have more details. We actually have a call about that after the show.
Oh, yes.
But another thing I was rambling about with my mute button here, I think. I don't know. You tell me. I think I was muted when I was talking about Coach Runza being on the show today. Coach Mogg joining us after he just mogged his way to the UFL Championship. I mean, and then we got Jace coming on. And this is going to be an interesting show. I told people online, you don't want to miss it. It's live, baby. Here we are. So what is everyone's thoughts on this stinky
comments
weekend?
Working today? What's going on with that?
So, okay, I'm glad you brought that up, James. So here's the gamble we can take. And I like gamblers. I'm a gambler, all in. So the comments aren't showing for me. The chat is not showing for me. I'm almost certain if I refresh the page, they will show for me.
Are we about to do the same thing we did a few weeks ago? And
what I'm uncertain about is if it's going to do something crazy and create a new stream. I don't think it will. But do we put it on the line? I can see what the chat is saying, so let me pull it up. How much do you want to see your chats on the screen? Let us know.
They probably will. I'm not gonna lie.
Because we can refresh it and see what it does. Because I'm down for that. Here's what you'll do. Actually, you know what? Here's what you can do. If you want us to refresh this thing, we got 29 people in here. I better see 29 likes on this video. Let's make it worth it, baby.
Great job.
All right, so should I do it? Should I just do it early and try it out, or should we just go with no chats?
I'd say now or never, because I want to get into debate on these or talk on these games. So,
all right, everyone, do a little prayer.
Oh boy, be ready, chat. This might get weird. As he leaves,
I'm
so
seeing
far so
uploading.
good.
Not seeing uploading yet. I'm scared.
Welcome back.
Okay, he's back.
Did it work? Let's see if the chat even was it worth it. Okay, I got the live stream chat. I got chat. Chat's there. Let's see.
Good.
As far as I can tell, we're still live. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're seeing it, please push one
Ref,
up.
I'm proud of you because you're not the only one that took a gamble this weekend. We saw the DC defenders do a flea flicker on 3rd and 1 in a huge position to put that game away.
Oh
so I guess it's that week. It's just how it is. So props to you for taking some inspiration from Fred Keiss.
We made it happen. So what? Okay. Well, maybe it just. I see the live stream chat. Give me some chats in here, baby. I see some chats in the thing. We're gonna give it a second, man. Make it worth the gamble. Make it worth the honey. Anyway, I had fun this weekend. Not everybody had fun. The Facebook crowd, especially, seems to be taking this weekend a little hard. There was fun games though. Everybody's going to focus on attendance. So you know what I want to focus on here? Fun games. I'm shocked. I'll start there. I'm shocked we're about to head into a spring football championship without the Stallions. So sign you guys up. Another thing I want to confirm, it is. I checked on the YouTube stream. Top row, Zach, James, and Jake. The top three. Actually, the 2 through 4 Panthers fan. I'm number 1. We can't forget that.
Runza's going to come on here, and he already knows that you're a Roughnecks shill all the way. So,
me? I don't think this live chat's working. Well, it was worth the try. I at least have the option. That's a damn shame. I'll just read them out loud. Panther Shadow. I can see the comments, so it seems good.
Zach, get this under control.
Let's get in talking with these games here. We tried. It isn't working. I apologize. I'm sorry that it.
Well, the chats work on the YouTube. It just doesn't let me populate them on the screen. Sorry, I tried.
Well, there you go. There you go. We'll get to it at a different time. Look,
another knock on Riverside.
I'm gonna throw it in because we're already. Let's just throw it in the DC St. Louis game because I think most of the combo and discourse is coming from that one. because you have I feel like two converging sides that have been really building up and bubbling behind the scenes, and I'm just gonna say it. It's St. Louis versus everybody now is what the new combo seems to be, in terms of what has happened after today, because there is clearly this in between some folks that do think the league or say the league is catering to a certain market, which I get it. You guys sell a lot of tickets. And then the St. Louis market, that there are folks saying that they are the gods and that we need to appease to the said gods. I'm looking at you, Thomas Welch. We didn't miss your tweet.
Oh, man, you called him out by name.
Well, hey, saying the league's going to die because they had a team that can't make a damn playoff game and get a win. I'm not going to hold back on that. That's basically asking for certain things to go your way. This ain't the WWE. We don't have things that get scripted here. You know.
Well, and I know Ducky will be in
game.
later because he's definitely got some things to say about that. But that's I don't understand.
I mean that's what this is. That's what was yesterday after the game. That was this. So
I'm shocked.
We
First
are
and
full
foremost,
of that now.
I really thought the league was going to rig it for St. Louis, like all the comments said. They all told me that's what I was thinking. You know what I thought was really funny about the picks is they were like, this team doesn't know ball. I got that from both St. Louis and DC fans. I'm like, those are my picks. I picked St. Louis. I picked DC. And thanks a lot, guys.
You
Or
mean
not DC,
You can't-
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I got to have fun with that on the retweets. I took a victory lap yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
I
You
went
guys have
2-0.
been having fun. Just wait till next year, 12-0. I mean, I've been here the whole time. I'm along with the ride. Championship.
We'll talk about Houston next season.
Realistically in the game though, I know we all have our thoughts. Like Jesus Christ, the absolute downfall that entire game of Anthony Beck versus playoff pressure is very present because it keeps on showing its ugly head for 3 straight seasons now.
It's a little confusing because you look at what St. Louis has done the last 3 seasons where they've been all about culture. He's a player's coach, right? St. Louis, there's no doubt about it. That locker room is one of the better locker rooms in this league. But every single time, like you said, they're in a playoff pressure situation where things are on the line. You look back at season 1 for them in the XFL. That game against Seattle, that had huge playoff implications. You're at home, you got a chance to basically punch your ticket to the playoffs, and you drop a dud. Last year, we all know what happened against the Brahmas. Look, I know it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season, but they came out very flat. AJ McCarron was injured. Bruce Gradkowski was throwing him into trick plays. And next thing you know, you're down double digits early in the second half. It just made 0 sense. And then this past game, completely outcoached, outmanned, outwilled, out basically everything. I mean, it was a no-show offensively, defensively. Brandon Silvers was the one little shred of hope that they had, and then he got hurt, so that basically put the nail in the coffin. And at that point, the nail was already in the coffin. I think when we were at halftime, everybody knew that St. Louis just wasn't going to be able to put much of anything together. I will say the Super Challenge was a bit of an interesting one there because I don't know, Zach, Thorne, I don't know if you guys want to give your thoughts first, but I'm not too thrilled with how the Super Challenge has played out for a lot of these teams this season. I think some of the calls have just been strange, and that was one of them.
I'll pass it off because I do have my thoughts, but I do want to make sure I'm not being like host that takes over show the entire time. So, I mean, Nick, I'm curious what you think. I'll be honest, like my quick bit, I've had my thoughts on this all year because like there are obvious calls, but as the old adage goes, you can find a penalty on every play in a football game.
Yeah, I think the thing I saw Sam Schwartzstein tweet about this, and it really reminded me that in the XFL in 2020, kind of the beginning of this whole spring football movement, more or less, they didn't have the coaches challenge like they do in the game right now. What they had was a sky judge that was there in case they felt like they missed something. And I think in hindsight, maybe that's a better approach to it, where the sky judge can always be looking at plays and will, retroactively call a penalty or something like that, and less of like the coach's challenge deal where it's been ruled kind of weird. And with the second challenge, you're getting more challenges, so it's even more apparent like, hey, at times there's weird ruling. In general, though, I do agree that, like, hey, they should be ruling it, like on that play. It's a bang bang play on that fourth down. Like, I really did think it was a no call. I don't blame Beck for challenging it because, at that point, if you don't get it, whatever, the game's over. So you needed that, sure, completely valid use of a challenge, even if it was a long shot. If a guy gets there like a half a second before the ball's there, I just don't really think it's enough to like overturn a ruling on the field personally. And that's the
I mean,
issue.
real quick, hold on. Do you guys want to see something cool?
Do we have our guest?
We do.
Wow, we do have a back room.
Hey, we got a champion in our midst.
What's going on?
Sorry, I didn't want us to kick off into a new discussion and make him, because I waited for a second. New technology. You're the first one to test it out. Back room. People apparently don't like to be just launched into our show when they click the link. Although I thought that was the funniest part. That's like who knows?
So are we live right now? Am I on?
Oh, you're definitely
You're
on.
on. Yeah.
You're definitely on.
Oh, I still launched you in, but not to as much of an extent.
It's at least like not the second you log it in, you're just thrown into the
I
fire.
thought I did something wrong because last time I jumped right in. So I just pulled up the stream on another tab. I was watching saying, did I mess something up? But happy to be on, guys. What's going
Christian,
on?
welcome back. We appreciate you joining us. It's good to have you back on the panel. And bit of a different scene. I mean, last time we had you on, it was training camp, heading into the season. Now you're heading to the championship. Just take me through what you and the team have been feeling this past day after this big win.
Oh, man. It's been amazing. A lot of hard work has come into this. A lot of tough times, right? A lot of self-doubt that we had to overcome. And hats off to Birmingham. I mean, obviously they were the Spring Kings, and they have a great roster, a great team, great coaching staff. They do a really good job, man, over there. And actually, I was doing my pregame walk, and I was walking by Coach Holtz and shook hands before the game, wished each other good luck, and I just said, hey, it's been a battle these last bunch of years, and he said today's going to be no different, and it was, The score may look a little different at the end, but I mean, I'll tell you what, I was on the edge of my seat until we got that last first down and knee it out. I mean, because with the way the games have gone against them the last bunch of years, and seems like we're up early, then they storm back. They have a lot of fight in them, and sometimes we just let things snowball at the end of games. But yesterday, when it was snowballing and everyone was kind of like, I mean, I know everybody watching that game was saying, here we go again. And they made a 5-point game at the end of that game, and our offense did what they do best, man. They just pounded that rock, and we got some fortunate turnovers at the end of that game where our guys made some great plays, and we were able to pull it out in the end. But like I said, credit to Birmingham. I mean, they're an unbelievable team. What they've done the last 4 years has been amazing. Less than 10 losses in 4 years. I mean, it was a hell of a challenge for us, and it was a lot of fun to go against them. But we're enjoying this one. We really enjoyed it last night, yesterday, and earlier this morning. But it's 24 hours past game time, so it's time to move on to DC.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a bit about that. The little spot in the game where you're up 34-17, you're heading into the fourth quarter momentum, and then next thing you know, like you said, it's a 5-point game. Yeah. And I'm sure that plenty of people are like you said, here we go again. This is what Birmingham does. They always find a way, especially against you guys. That's been the story the last few years where you've had leads, double-digit leads. Last year in the playoffs, up 18-3. What was kind of going through your mind and the team's head? Just kind of trying to stay composed and make sure you kept things together.
I mean, obviously that thought creeps up in the back of your head, when it's happened so many times in the same fashion, especially with Matt Corral coming in the game again, like all these different factors where it was matching up to be the same game that it was the last time we played him in the playoff game, or even when we played him at Birmingham last time when we were up early and then we kind of stumble and give up the lead, and there it goes. So, but I'll tell you what, our guys didn't flinch. I mean, all week we knew that there was going to be a point in that game where we had to say, hey, who cares about what happened in the past? We got to go one snap and clear and focus on the next play. And credit to our offense, like I said, because they shifted that momentum right back into our favor immediately. it was more of the way that drive went after it got to 5 points with the physicality that they played with. And I mean, they just ran inside zone however many plays that was on that drive, inside zone RPO, which is what our offense does. I mean, there's no secrets about it. And they said, just try and stop it. And our offensive line did an unbelievable job. Obviously, we have some great running backs. Both Toa and Matt played a great game yesterday. And, tight ends did a great job blocking, receivers on the edge doing a great job, whether it's running their routes and pulling the edge defenders or blocking on the perimeter. And they flipped the script, which gave our defense some more confidence to go back out there, and kind of do it again. And, the real thing was they scored, 12 points in a matter of maybe 3 or 4 minutes. So
Yeah.
It happened so fast. It was great that our offense was able to slow the game down and take us, make it so we didn't have to go right back out in the field, because that's always tough to do, especially
The Bryce Perkins effect.
So, but yeah, man, our guys showed a lot of fight, and a lot of resiliency, and obviously it was enough to get the win. So, we're just really happy, really proud, really excited. It's been a long time coming for us, man. We really wanted this one, obviously. We hear all the buzz and all the word on the streets and the media, and it felt really good to get this one. But like I said, now it's 24 hours past game time. Enough enjoying it. Now it's time to get back to work and get the real goal. The number one goal of what we're here to do is win a championship.
No, absolutely. And I'm going to pass the mic off to Zach and Jake because they are the true Michigan Panthers fans here. Whether or not Jason, anyone else wants to talk
Don't
about
lie,
me,
James.
Zach and Jake, you guys take it away, and whichever one of you guys want to go first. Speaking of lying, ref, you got a number one Panthers fan thing on you. Come on. Runza knows better.
Because I'm the number one Panthers fan. Get
Christian,
over it,
can you
guys.
shut this down, please?
That's right.
No, he knows. He knows.
No way.
Don't worry, Christian. He's going to be called our resident Panthers ally on our road trip we're taking in just about a day. So,
Yep.
Awesome.
It's okay. He's got some ties, but no, he is a poser though. It's okay.
You guys got it all wrong.
Christian, congrats to you. I could play up a ton, and cheers to you as well, by the way, for the victory. James already kind of answered what I wanted here, because I mean, again, it's this team has very much been waiting for this moment. And the job's not done, but how do you compartmentalize your mission after saying, okay, we had 2 weeks to kind of like get ready for this big matchup, the one monkey on our back type of scenario that is Birmingham. And now we've done it, but we haven't finished the job. How do you get that reorganized to say, okay, energy's back in the building, but we now got to refocus that, celebrate, but like make it quick because we do got to focus on the bigger goal that is ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean that's been a conversation amongst the staff kind of all day. Is we've reached such a high right now where we are. However, the focus needs to remain what it was the past week. And coming into the locker room after the game, after we had that initial celebration and you kind of calm down and everyone's kind of changing and now a little bit lower than where they were. Every single person I went up and talked to said, "Hey man, we still got one more. We still got one more." Like that was the first goal, was to get to it. And now, obviously the ultimate goal is to win it. So, and talking to guys since training camp, there are a lot of guys, I saw a stat yesterday that we might have the most veteran roster and oldest roster in the league. And a lot of those guys only came back because we felt we were so close last year to winning it all. And the main goal for them was to come back and win it all. I mean, we have a couple guys on this team at least 5 to 6 that are over 30 years old. They kind of understand that their chances at the NFL aren't really as high as a 24, 25-year-old guy. And they just wanted another chance to come back and win the whole thing with their guys that they've been with, So for us, I mean, the main goal is still the main goal. And it's about just refocusing our energy. Now, I will say, like last week, we had a level of focus in practice that I've never seen from this group before. I mean, it truly was by far the best week of practice we've had, with attention to detail, focus, just making sure that we got all the little things right, because at the end of the day, it was going to come down to execution against Birmingham. And they were locked in on making sure that all the little details were right. And so the talk to the team is, hey man, we need the same exact thing this week. It's got to be the same level of attention to detail and focus that we had, because at the end of the day, man, the goal is to win the whole thing. So we got obviously, one more game left to do it. So we got to go do everything we can to win it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you nailed one thing on the head we've talked about. And this is a great way. I'm going to pass it off to Jake because we've talked about this too. The veteran roster and the amount of guys that returned and basically said, hey, we were here, we were this close last year, let's run it back and have a few adjustments, get healthy, and we can now get to this point. And, you guys focused a little bit also, and I think this is kind of a blessing. While we also did argue about not having that home field to play for, it was a bit of a blessing to kind of have that time off. It seems to like get a few guys a little healthier and kind of just set up. So, but yeah, Jake can kind of speak on the veteran part because we've talked about that all year, Jake, haven't we?
I mean, I don't know. I think I've been what I've been saying all year, and I still believe, and I even kind of tweeted about it today, is that everybody doubted this roster, and I've never had an issue with the roster. What Nolan and Kaiser have done with building the roster, what you guys have done on staff to get these guys going. Like, I knew that, and Thorne, you could attest to this because we've argued it. Like, you came around quickly. You just got to see my side of it, but yeah, no, like this roster has exactly the championship. Hey, this team is a championship team. The roster is like, I've seen it. So, like Zach said, congrats. Like, obviously, I've been behind you guys since, 22 and since you came in 23.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've loved this roster. I have not seen, the issues that other people have had. And finally, you guys have gotten over that hump. Glad to see that you guys had that execution, during practice, because I definitely was seen on the field on Sunday. Yesterday, like it was a beautiful game on all three phases, like Coach said, in with the trophy. So no, I don't have any question.
I think that's the most I've ever heard Jake talk ever on this show.
Oh, I'll rant, dude. I can go on forever. You know that. You guys just don't let me.
Fired up.
You just don't let me.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it.
Jake's been waiting for this one just as long as we have, man. So talk it up. This is your time, man.
You had a whole 10-minute monologue just.
I'll take the entire hour. Like I've been tweeting, I've been fighting, I've been arguing. Like I'll go on. I'll keep saying the same.
That's great.
Love it.
I do want to one more question for you before I get passed over to Nick here, because we did get. And I think this is perfect timing, personally. We had Kedrick Whitehead was announced as the Special Teams Player of the Year. Obviously, on your side of the ball, not exactly your department, but still, you guys collaborate and cooperate all the same. Named as the Iron Man as he was listed in the PR. What do you have to say for Whitehead? I mean, this is a massive accomplishment, and I think some people even have not. We don't always notice the guys that are on all the snaps or that are in the nitty gritty like he is, and it seems like that's what's being acknowledged here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Ked is exactly what you want from a player, a person, everything. I mean, he is the best. Like we couldn't talk more highly of Ked than we already do. We feel he's, if not our best player, top 2 or top 3 best players on our defense in that nickel spot that he plays. He's invaluable to us. A lot of things that we do on defense is built around him, just because he's so dynamic. It's about getting him on the other team's best player, or if we feel he's got an advantage in the blitzing situation, we're going to send him. Things like that, and he's also extremely smart. He's got great football IQ, and he works on the details. He really deserves this award because he's a guy that kind of gets overlooked because he's not the biggest, tallest, flashiest guy out there all the time. But I'll tell you what, man, he does some special things in a football field, and and everything he does it to the best of his ability, man. He works his tail off, and again, like I said, just a great person that you always want to root for. The funny thing about Ked is Coach Bauer and I, we coached against him for years when he was at Delaware and we were at Towson. And then he was with the Buccaneers in the NFL and got released. And Coach Bauer brought him up last year before the season, and he came in midway through training camp and ended up being one of our best guys. He does some really good things, man. So we're obviously really happy about Ked, and I hope that he gets the NFL chance he deserves at the end of the offseason because he's a difference maker, man. He really is. And any locker room that he goes into, he's going to be beloved by his teammates and by the coaching staff just because of the way he works. and his IQ and all the things that you need to be successful in that league. So if any other teams, NFL teams are watching, man, Ked's a guy to definitely take a look at for sure.
Nice. Take it away, Nick. Other side of the championship coin we got here.
That's right.
The enemy.
Boo, Nick. Boo.
But he's also a friend. I mean, he's Towson, there's at least that. You can't completely hate him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off by defending myself a little bit, Jake. I think
there's no defending it.
The thing that I think's really interesting about Michigan is there's kind of this idea, especially in like scouting and recruiting, about like progression isn't linear, and I feel like Michigan is like the crown jewel of that. You got a bunch of guys this year that had career years that if you were just looking at a straight line of like, okay, guys are going to get a little bit better every year, like who would have thought Toa, who was cut at the end of camp, was going to be, one of the best running backs in the league. Guys like Gunnar Oaks and Ryan Nelson and a bunch of guys on the defense, like so many guys here that like if you're just like projecting out, you wouldn't have thought they would have. Ryan Nelson is insane the season he's had. I mean, like he's a guy when you're talking, NFL looks, he has to. If he doesn't get something Monday morning, I'd be shocked, frankly. Like he's that kind of guy. But tying it back, because you talked a lot about Kendrick Whitehead and kind of tying all that in, I'm curious, I know as a coach you're going to name every player, but if you could, a couple players that you think like, hey, I think this is absolutely an NFL guy, they've had a great year. I'm curious, who's some guys you'd want to shout out?
I'm going to start probably by the guys that you wouldn't think, you know what I mean? The guys that don't get as much recognition. I mean, obviously a guy like Gunnar Oaks, who first team all UFL this year. I mean, we've been really excited about him since we were at his pro day in 2023 when we were out in Michigan. We were at his pro day after we drafted him already, and we just watched him run around, how smooth he was and at the size he is, and obviously he's a very good blocker. We were really excited about him, and the biggest thing that for him, especially my guys, we go against him all day. All my guys call him Jason Witten. They call him Jay Witt. Like that's his name. Like he's big, smooth. You wouldn't think anything of him really when you just kind of walk by him, whatever. But man, he can play ball. So to see his development, obviously Coach Watkins, our tight ends coach, has done a great job with him in developing him. And obviously credits to him, and he's worked his tail off. He actually lost 15 pounds coming into the season, and once he lost that weight, we knew that he was going to be pretty special receiving, especially because he's always been a great blocker, and now he's just real smooth with it and runs great routes, great hands, so really reliable guy. I would say some guys up front, like especially on our O-line, man, I think our interior O-line is up there with some of the best in the league. All three of those guys that both Cole, Jake, and Noah, all three of them that are starting on the inside, man, they do a great job. They work so well together. They're such a great cohesive unit. And the biggest thing, like I think the reason why our line is so successful, obviously we have a great O-line coach and Coach Tim Holt with all of his NFL experience he's had in the past. And he sees it from a different lens than a lot of guys do. He might like the flashier project or flashier guy, that prospect that is bigger, great feet, things like that. I mean, he looks at the personalities of the guys and lets them be themselves out here. And it's such a cohesive unit. They've been together for 2 full years now, and 3 of the 5 of them were together previously, in 23. So it's a really tight-knit group. Like, you will not see our O-line one guy without the rest of them. I mean, they're always together. And I think that's why they play so well. And I think that's also why you could bring in the next guy and he plays so well around everybody, just because they're all together all the time. They're speaking the same language. They really take it serious. And they do a great job. Defensively, I think we have, a ton of guys that have a pretty good chance at the NFL as well. For example, up front, I think if we don't have the best defensive line in the league, I really don't know who else does. They make my life a lot easier. You know what I mean? The guys in my room, they eat up blocks. They stop the run game half the time. When we're making plays, we're unblocked. just because they do such a good job of taking up blocks up front. I think obviously we have guys like like Taylor Stallworth and Benny, who we just brought in, both guys that were in the NFL for the last, I don't know how 4, 5, 6 years. So they're guys that are hopefully going to be able to get right back. Obviously,
Shout out Steve Kaiser.
He's been injured here and there, but he's had a really good year. And Kenny Willekes, to me, is an NFL defensive end. He plays the run just as well as anybody else, but man, he gets off the edge and is a really good pass rusher. But one guy that doesn't get a lot of credit, I think, is Ron Stone up front. Defensive end, he's a rookie this year. He has all the ability. He's really matured this year a bunch and grown up, being so young and being in such a veteran room, and he's a playmaker. He's beating tackles consistently on the edge in pass situations, and he's physical in the run game. He's big, long body, does a great job. Obviously there's a ton of guys I could bring up. We have some playmakers. Obviously our back end's done a great job. We have really good safeties, all three of them. Have been all UFL caliber players. With Tarp this year and Ked, and then obviously last year Kai was all UFL as well. So it makes our job easier as linebackers when you got all that help around you. So. It's been great, man. The shout out to Steve Kaiser, our GM. All this success is because of the great job he does, and he works just as hard as, if not harder than everybody in the league, man. Last night we get home, him and Coach Nolan are in here till 11, 12 o'clock. Trying to find with whatever injuries we got, and trying to just make sure that we're all good with the personnel we have going into this week.
Dang.
They're consistently working hard and evaluating guys, and he's sending us new guys every week as backups just in case. And he's in his mid 70s and he's grinding just like he's in his 30s, man. So it's really easy to work for guys like Coach Nolan and Steve Kaiser.
It really speaks to the depth that this team has across the board. I know we don't want to take up too much of your time, Christian. I really appreciate you joining us today. Before we let you go, Ref, I know you've been relatively quiet.
I got a couple things
of value that you have to say to Christian.
I got two things. Two things. First, I'm going to start off like Nick. I want to defend myself a little bit. Everyone here calls me a poser. Now, you can look this up. There's receipts on this. I want you, and I welcome the chat to do this as well, to go through the power rankings every week and compare that to the so-called Panthers fans that sit around you. And what will you see? I think that you'll see that a little old Panther ranked the Panthers higher on average on a week-to-week basis. Maybe not every week, but on average. Now, that's just one thing. Second, and this is maybe a little bit more reality, whatever. I'm really just more excited for the prospect of another championship in Detroit, especially a professional football championship, which for, maybe some of the listeners out there don't know, the last time that happened in Detroit, it was the Michigan Panthers in 1983. I want to see it return. I'm not making my pick officially, but I, as the number one Panthers fan, want to see that. And I was born and raised in Detroit. So, I'm with you.
I appreciate the support. Obviously, I want to see that too. But we got a lot of work to do this week, man. DC's been on a roll. They're awesome. Coach Harris has done a great job, man. If he's not the coach of the year, I don't know who is. And that's no offense to anyone else that's nominated. Just what he's been able to do with that team and be able to rally him around him. And we obviously lose a bunch of guys on staff early in the season, and to be able to go on a run like they did and make the playoffs and then go to St. Louis and win in St. Louis in a playoff game, man, that's a lot of credit to them, man, because that's not easy. Obviously, we weren't able to win when we were out there in St. Louis this year, so we know what it's like to play there, and with that home crowd, it's a great home crowd, great atmosphere. It's probably the best atmosphere I've ever played or coached in, because obviously me being an FCS guy, I haven't really been in a place like that a lot. But again, credit to them, man. They've done a great job this year. That it's going to be a fun game because it's an old school football game this week. Both teams that really like to run the football, take their shots when they need to. Both teams have great wide receiver groups to be able to throw it over the top, and great quarterbacks, two great quarterbacks. And defensively, we pride ourselves in stopping the run. Obviously, we've had a pretty good year doing that, leading the league in rushing this year. So it's been a good year for us. However, the job's not finished, and they're going to provide a really tough test to us. Offenses are very similar in mindset. So it's going to be a fun old school football game this week, and obviously their quarterback, Coach Jordan Teamu, has had an unbelievable year, man. MVP caliber year. He's a very veteran quarterback, understands defenses, does a great job checking things at the line of scrimmage and calling stuff out. So, we have a really tough test this week to be able to give him some different looks and hopefully be able to throw him off as much as we can. Because I know that, with their receiver group, they're going to make some plays, just like Birmingham with the great receiving group they have, So, plays are going to be made, and we just got to be able to rebound and overcome some adversity to be able to win this thing, because, it's two heavyweight boxers going at it this week, so should be a really fun one. We're really excited about it, and hopefully everyone tunes in, that they enjoy it as well. It's going to be a fun week in St. Louis, so we can't wait, man. We're excited.
Like you said, people got to tune in. It's going to be a good game. DC, Michigan, top 2 teams in the league. Coach Runza, I appreciate you joining us as always. It's always a pleasure to have you on, and I'm sure a lot of us will be seeing you this weekend down there in St. Louis. Best of luck this weekend preparing, and does anyone else have any final words before we send Christian back to the hard work that it is this week?
We'll get that dub, man.
Sure,
that's all I got to say.
Like, I'm going to be there. I'm not missing this.
St. Louis, hit me up. We'll get together.
Oh, you know it.
Absolutely.
Road to Summerstock, man. We're going to be there. Hands down. A bunch of us will be.
Hit me up. We'll be there. We'll be there pretty early. So let us know. Let me know.
For sure. We'll do.
All right.
Okay.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother.
Appreciate you.
See it.
Peace. Good stuff. Two things with the chat, actually. And one of them's because it was a super chat, and I know we're trying to keep up with all that. One is Chris Tinsdale, our buddy here as always. I'll read it off. Sorry, St. Louis. I tried to warn you all season. You guys got mad at me. You sucked. Better luck next year. So that was the first thing I had to read. Again, super chats, we read them. If you want to put one in, feel free. We don't ask if you don't want to, but we will read them. We read a guy from Canada a few weeks ago, and that was a fun one. That's all I can say. Second thing, and I'll say, ref, I got burned on this yesterday too, because I made a post about the Panthers that popped off really on Twitter. And my good friend Adam Stowe, and now Mr. UFO Isaac, said, is anyone forgetting the Detroit Drive? 1988 Arena Football League Championship.
Yeah, but I'm aware, but is arena football professional football under the lens of traditional football? And I would say it's not. I would say that's an arena I know, Zach, you're going to do it.
You got to make me take
50 yards is not 100 yards.
It's not the same game. It's not the same. It's like having like an ice field hockey team win this year and say, well, it's the last hockey championship in Detroit, and it's not the same game.
I feel so disappointed right now.
If they had an extra 50 yards on the field, we'd be good.
All right.
Well, if there was maybe the St. Louis Battlehawks need an arena-sized field to do something right.
Also, they might have an offense at that point.
Also, on that same note, because I found this hilarious yesterday, Stefan, real quick. Someone's I commented on it. Was a guy from one of the local news stations there, and I was like, well, wait, don't forget the Panthers championship. And he went, in Pontiac. Does that matter? When the Pistons played in Auburn Hills for years?
No, it's Detroit. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. But he's like, it was funny because the guy's like, I don't understand I'm getting all this pushback. Pontiac's not Detroit.
You know why? That dude's probably from Pontiac, and that's the only thing they got going for him. I mean, they don't even have a drive-in theater after they knocked down the Silverdome. They do have good soul food, though. I'll give them that.
Oh, all right. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Well,
anyway,
I think we kind of got to circle back to St. Louis and DC a little bit. I'd be curious, Thorne, to get some of your thoughts. I thought, kind of like we said, St. Louis just completely outplayed. A couple of things really disappointed me about the Battlehawks. One, the offensive line play. They've been one of the best offensive line units this season. There's no denying that. Jacob Taylor is all UFL. They've had a lot of rushing success, but DC played into that, and DC made Max Duggan have to throw the football, and we saw the end result. Not to mention the defenders' pass rush is just outstanding. Andre Mintz, Derek Roberson, Malik Fisher, Joe Wallace, that entire defensive front. Shout out to Blake Williams, because I'll be honest, one of the reasons why I thought St. Louis might have an edge was the fact that DC's defense has been in a slump since Blake took over, especially the last few weeks. I mean, you look at the numbers they were giving up, especially yards-wise. I thought St. Louis would be able to run the football and push the ball down the field, and, Duggan wouldn't have to do a whole lot. He just would have to make a couple of throws. He did not do that. He looked terrible from the first snap. I mean, his first throw to Hakeem Butler was like 3 feet over his head. How do you overthrow Hakeem Butler? I mean, at 6'6", I think I remember Joel Klatt making a comment about that earlier this season. Like, Hakeem Butler is not someone you should ever overthrow. So when I saw that, I was like, oh boy. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and Thorne, you'd probably like to get into the roster details with me on this, is being thin at cornerback hurts, and Miles Sims was picked on all night. Nick Whiteside too, but especially Miles Sims. I didn't see one good rep out of Sims almost the entire game. I thought Micah Abraham had a couple good reps, but I mean, he's still new, kind of finding his footing there in that defense. Whiteside made a couple of plays, but overall, I mean, Miles Sims was the guy that I thought they really, really picked on.
Yeah, I mean, when you're starting cornerback 5, it's kind of like
exactly
you get what you get, and that's kind of my bigger point. I think obviously there's a lot of people that are going to go after Anthony Becht after this and say like, wow, we were so unprepared and blah, 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 blah. Like, and him be the one at fault. But for me, I don't think this is an Anthony Becht problem at all. I think that team was just not very good, And I get that they were 8-5 and they went on a win streak at the end of the year, but I never really bought into it. Sorry, 8-2. Yeah, whatever. You get the point. They won a lot of football games. The 5-game winning streak, I think, is where that kind of got those wires got crossed. But the team was just decimated with injuries. I think even more than the Stallions, who are the team that has been the poster boy of can't stay healthy this year, because when you're down, you're starting quarterback. You're one of your guards on offense. You're missing the best defensive lineman in the league, in Austin Falu, and then also Isaiah Mack's out, and then also Chris Garrett's out, and also Calhoun O'Reilly's out. So that's 3. None of those guys are starters, but those are key contributors in your front 7. And then your top 2 cornerbacks are out. Like, not many teams are going to succeed at that level, and
it's kind of like a boat when you start poking holes and the water starts filling in, and then it all just sinks. Like that ship sunk this week. Like they kept it afloat as long as they could.
Hold on. Do you guys want to see something cool?
Ducky or James?
No.
No, I said something cool. I didn't.
Well, I guess
his name is accurate for once now.
The name, unfortunately for him, is accurate this time.
He just leaves
as he freezes coming into the show.
Nah, I was looking at my little girl. She's feeding my son right now. I'm on dad duty, so if I'm distracted, that's why.
No, you're good. Sign you up.
Welcome
He's
aboard.
Deep into the off season now.
Yeah, I'm full off-season mode.
How you feeling?
More sore than normal. Them boys were hitting yesterday, so kudos to them. Give my props.
I saw that hit and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to bring that up tomorrow.
Yeah, I was glad they called it. I'm glad we had a false start or illegal formation or whatever it was, so that doesn't count as a drop. So that was cool. But that's also the play that I bruised my thumb and broke my nail on. So I guess it came with a cost.
I heard some chirping from the Michigan sideline after that hit.
Yeah, you can tell. I'm definitely on their agenda, huh? After we threw that interception, I was just like, oh my, the things they were saying, I was just like, yeah, I deserve it. It was all a lot of cussing, 12, you effing suck, this and that. And I was just like, oh yeah, y'all can get y'all's licks in. You earned it.
Taking it like a champ, Jace.
Took 3 years, but y'all did it.
I'm surprised Zach and Jace are talking more smack right now, to be honest.
I'm trying to compartmentalize things.
Hey, I can't talk to that because it is yeah, I don't know.
I'm not
the
downplaying
monkey's off
anything
the
they
back,
did
but it's
either.
just like,
So it's like,
I don't know. It's one time. Let's do another 4-game win streak, and then I'll really start talking trash like I do with the college side of things. But
I mean, yeah,
right
like
now
you
I'm
guys
just
won.
happy
You
we
guys
got one
won
more
when it
game too.
mattered. You guys won when it mattered this year. So that's the other 2 games we won this year. I mean, like I told y'all like 2 weeks ago, I'd rather if it meant we lost 2 regular season games to beat them in the playoffs, like I'd switch that in a heartbeat. So I mean, they for sure got the one. They
Yeah, I don't know if I
mom's,
said it
her
out
mom's
loud.
calling and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if I said it out loud to anyone, but I felt the exact same way about the whole. If it's gonna win one game, it's got to be the one that actually matters and not the regular season game. So
Yeah.
I was content with the 2 losses. I didn't enjoy them during the regular season, but I said yesterday that was the one that actually counted.
Jace, I'll give my thoughts on this in a moment, but I got to read off this super chat because we just came through.
It's
UFL
yours.
highlights. Oh, thank God Jace is here. I'll take a number 2 with cheese.
Come on.
Go.
He's trying to stay relevant so bad.
I've never seen him do that off mic like that. That's
Oh, and the fact that I'm playing along is like, I think he thinks like it's he's in on the joke now. So it's like, again, you can be relevant off Birmingham.
So, I will make the point that Ducky made.
Oh God, we have another super chat.
No, hold on. I don't know what.
I'll wait.
Anybody who's never played of down a football should have nothing to comment on the situation because I know me, Zach. I don't know if you've ever seen me try to throw or catch a football.
I've never seen you throw football.
It's not a pretty sight. It's not
now
a pretty
I want to
sight.
see it. We're gonna film it for.
But I would
Frozen
guarantee
Summer
you, hold on, Zachy boy, that I could throw and catch a football better than these schmucks online talking shit, and I'll say that right now. And I'm still not good.
It's 100%. I'm 100% cool with it. It is what it is.
This is why we do need the PFN after dark. Like get a little booze in there. We don't even have to keep an eye. Well, no, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying, God, you guys, Zach, I expect better out of you. That's like a Nick Thorne thing to come in here with a comment.
Just wants to liquor me up.
Wait, why is Thorne
I'm
catching
so
streaks
lost
for that?
right now. What's happening here?
That's why I don't talk.
Ref wants to liquor me up, so I can fight James Baker. Or my bad, UFL highlights.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is
one
actually what
source
I
we
want.
all go to get our UFL info.
Don't. Oh damn.
So all right, let me take this in a different direction. So Jace, you're from Oklahoma, right? You spent some time there, is that right?
Yes, sir. Very, very fond of
Oh
Oklahoma.
yes.
Tell me about this onion burger. Is this like a real thing, or is this just some made up thing that people like
No.
get? No, is this is it good? Is it legit? What's the deal?
It's incredible. I think now, like how a lot of places have it, it's like a smash. It's like the traditional smash burger, but like the traditional Blackstone, where they're cooking it on the griddle at the restaurant in front of you. Like it originated in Johnny's in El Reno, which is like I've lived in 3 different towns within like a 20-minute radius, within 20 minutes of that place, and so my family, we go there all the time. But I mean, it's just today's like. It's just a smash burger with onions on it, but that's like the original is, it's supposed to have originated from Oklahoma. So I forgot about that. Yeah. See, Oklahoma, we have some good things.
Mm-hmm.
Quality over quantity.
I'm looking forward to it. Zach and I are about to drive through Oklahoma to go. We're driving to the championship because we're crazy people. But since we're going to film it.
What towns are you going through? Do you know yet?
So we're going up. You know what? I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, I don't want to. I definitely have some. I definitely have some spots I can give you to try, and some
Chase
gas
planting
stations,
landmines for.
So I got some gas stations for you too that will probably have better food than most places you'll eat at during your trip.
Oh crap!
So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I want that the real stuff. Yes.
Yep.
Ref, there's a couple things in our chat you might want to pull up if you have a second. So there's Jace, I feel like we gotta address the elephant in the room. On
What the elephant in the room is we lost.
one of the
I played for Birmingham.
That's
No,
definitely
it's-
an elephant in the room.
the elephant in the room of a comment that was made where the worst part about losing is you turn around.
Nobody thought that was the elephant except
And
you.
you see James Larson
Nobody's
smiling
thinking
at
of
you.
that. Nobody's thinking of that, James. But yeah, it was. I was actually like, I wanted to headbutt you because I thought you were gonna be like, "Hey, man, you had a good year, like this and that. Like, thanks for being on panelist every fucking week for us. Sorry for the cuss word. Thanks for being a panelist every week." But instead, you're just you're just like he. Like, look at.
Oh,
I wanted to headbutt you with my face mask.
Crap.
You should have, dude. That would have been
And
the
take my
story.
athletic tape off my wrist and wrap it around your neck. But I didn't.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of thoughts going on in my head because I was just like, oh, you're lucky. But
I literally dapped you up and said, "Hell of a season." Unbelievable.
as you were smiling in my face,
What do you want me to do, frown?
yeah, like, hey, man,
He wants
you've given your time to us every week this week for an hour plus, and we've just been chatting, getting the ball. Like, it sucks that you lost, but like, hey, I appreciate what you've done. And instead, it's just like, hey, man, fuck off. You lost.
You know what? I'll tell you what it is, Jace. James, he won't shut up about that. He's like, I can't believe that dude never shouted out PFN on the sidelines. So now, if you would have shouted us out, James would have been there, fucking tears in his eyes, be like, I can't believe it. They should have targeted you more, bro. What is wrong?
Yeah.
That was the difference.
Exactly.
That was the game changer.
Exactly.
See, I found someone taking more heat on Birmingham than me, and I ran with it. I'm like, oh, James is the new target? Here we go. Let's go.
What's the best part about it is there's some guys on the team who are more active on Twitter than others, and they were kind of asking, they're like, hey, that show you do weekly, like, James, like, is he cool? And I was just like, yeah, I mean, like, he's a good, like, he's, you know what I'm saying? He's a good guy. He took pictures for us the first year. Well, he only took pictures when we played Michigan, coincidentally. But go figure. But then the guys were like, I swear to God, I'm not gonna say any names, but he's a receiver and he makes a lot of plays for us. He was like, it kind of seems like James he's kind of a homer towards Michigan, and I was like, no shit, I say that every week.
Oh my God.
I'm not making that up to troll you, I promise. They literally said that. They're like, yeah, it's kind of biased. I don't know if I can rock with that. And I was like, yeah, I feel you. And then James said, and then he came to me in the locker room and was like, James, and he could have been lying just to mess with me. He said James saw me pregame and was kind of trying to talk, but I just blew him off because he fucks with Michigan more than us. And I said, I don't blame you. That's the truth. That was a true story. I'm telling you. I promise you.
I think we need to retire Switzerland. I think it's over.
Is no more.
I guess since the season's over, I'm sure you guys. I'm sure James, you knew that I was James Larson's burner too. I figured you knew that one, but autocorrect spelled your name wrong. I was like, fuck, I can't change it now.
They made it funnier.
Well, that's what Stevie T did today. Said I needed to go to Canada and spelled my name wrong. So it's kind of just what happens.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? Let me get this guy flustered real quick. He's like, holy crap, I got a burner. Yep, it's me.
Got a burner account.
It really got me flustered, Jason.
This is why you're a perfect fit for the show, by the way.
I was watching. I watched all the shows starting at 5. I get the notification on YouTube. I log into my burner account. Harass James and play dumb when I log on. Like I have no idea. He texts me. He's like, "Bro, are you joining the show?" Yeah, I'll probably be on there eventually.
This man's definitely in off-season mode right now.
He's a tier 1 instigator.
Well, I want to be the first one to say thank you, Jace, for joining our show every week. I mean, seriously, and I'm not really bullshitting because I know you just said it and I was being a little facetious. And it's the end of the season now. I mean, then we don't need any beeps. But for real, I mean, when we started this show a year ago, let alone when we started the site 7.5 years ago, never did I think we would have, it's a wacky show, but a player on the show every week beyond just being a guest. You were part of the show, and I hope you continue to join this show. because
Yes,
you're
sir. I'm
just
coming
one
for
fun,
blood next year on the pick.
son of a
I was gonna
bitch.
say,
Dude.
open invitation no matter what your situation is, by the way. So
Yes, sir. Thank you guys.
yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you. I
Without
appreciated
that.
it
Jace,
for
can you
sure
just
this year. It was fun.
fuck off already or what?
Well, now I do have one more super chat that is Jay Space, by the way, and I did hold off. It's a bit nice. It's Chris Tisdale again. Shout out to you, man. 2 super chats a day. Thank you. You never do that. But Chris is a bro, or sorry, Jace is a bro. One of the 2 guys to shout out to that kid with cancer in the entire league when I asked for help. Awesome dude.
Oh my God, Chris. Yeah, tell him no problem. I think that's like, not to get my soapbox, but that's by far the worst thing I think a parent can go through. Well, obviously a child has to go through too, but I lost one of my best friends when I was 13 to a brain tumor, and just like watching his mom and just go through all that was like, I think about it a lot to this day. So it's like, and now being a dad of myself, I just think that's like the most cruel thing in the world. Well, cancer in general, but especially kids when they're so helpless and all they're relying on is their parents to be their heroes, and then you can only do so much. So I'm always trying to give back when I can, or just if any way I can shed light on something, I want to be able to help.
No, that's cool. Definitely something. It's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, shoot, I think all of us have been impacted by something like that. My grandfather was definitely impacted by brain cancer as well. So,
yep,
yeah, been there. But no, just I was gonna say, I'm not letting you leave the show without someone who's shouting out a good thing and awareness you're
Someone's
making.
saying something positive about you.
God damn it.
So I'm curious, Jace. What are your thoughts on the game this weekend? I don't know if you have analysis, or I don't know if you want to make a pick. You don't have to.
Oh, on the game this week, not the game that just happened.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I think it could go 2 ways. I think DC's definitely going to be in a revenge mindset. Like they feel. I would imagine that team, how they're built and just their character. They felt kind of disrespected how they played in Michigan. I don't think they put their best foot forward that game, and so watching the tape all week on that, they're going to be they'll be irritated having to see all their mistakes they made. And on the other end, I think Michigan's coming off an emotional high win. I don't know if you could tell, but they were pretty excited that they beat us, as they should. I still believe it's hard to bounce back after a dramatic win like that, but I think Michigan, which they have the great O line, I think that if they can contain the pass rush against DC, I don't see DC's defense stopping them. That's no shade to DC at all. I just know I watched it firsthand this week. Like, you have to wrap up, and even when you think Bryce is about to go down, like, he's not down. Like, you have to dogpile him to make sure he goes down, because I'm willing to argue. Like I said, I talked to him a little bit after the game, told him good job and good luck, whatever. But I was just like, I don't think you played full speed the whole game. Like, you were like the slowest, fastest, like I don't know, it was like slow-mo the whole time, but it was like effective slow-mo. Balance was incredible. Obviously never went down. And that 3rd and 14 was like a rip in the gut, knife, whatever you want to call it. It messed us. I mean, I don't even know what part of the game that was. I don't think it was 1 possession yet. I think we were still down 2 possessions.
It was 21-17.
Yeah,
It was early
I meant
quarter.
when they went. I don't know if that was before they went up 17 or if that was just when they were up 14 or whatever it was. But to me, I was like, damn, like that's like, we had them right there. Like we were gonna get some momentum back, and that was the big play of the game. And yeah, like I said, you can't knock anything Michigan did. They outplayed us, and we definitely didn't execute just off the rip, missing throws, taking bad angles, little details, and you do that, and then you're playing a hungry team like Michigan. That's not a recipe for success at all. So, yeah. So I think, I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm a homer, so I'll go USFL side. Unfortunately, I'll cheer for Michigan this week.
All right.
Just because I don't want just because now that I'm off season, just because I don't want the XFL side to win, and I want St. Louis fans to be in panic because there'll be 14,000 people at the game. And I'm rooting for this as a Birmingham player and fan. I think the way Michigan finished the season this year, I think we start pushing them to host next year for the championship because they're at least they've proven they can win a playoff game. St. Louis can't say the same. So it's like
Oh my God.
regular season champs, but playoffs it's like that's a different story. And so I think Michigan had like what 16,000 that last game.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a passionate fan base that actually has their team in the championship than just playing at a neutral site. Because again, if we're going neutral, let's just do it somewhere else where people can go to the games, you know.
But imagine playing the championship game next year in St. Louis with that beautiful banner hanging, regular season champs, 8-2, 2025. Like, just would you not be awestruck by that?
Exactly. I really also, if Detroit doesn't host next year, I think Audi Field should. 'Cause I think that atmosphere was sick. Like, and that's not just because Thorne's in here. And I'm trying to get ranked higher on my tiers. I generally like Audi West. I like
Those
Audi
NFL
West.
scouts are watching Thorne's tiers, so yeah, get yourself bumped up there, Jace.
That's what I'm saying. He must have put in a good word for Seth Green.
The last round.
Jace,
That's no shade to Seth.
curious.
That's a good tight end. Like someone else said, he would start on a lot of teams. So no shade, no shade there at all. I know I'm a smart ass, but I was being for real there.
Yeah, Seth's played well. Just when you're behind Sal Cannella, who gets a lot of targets, it's hard to get on the field much. But Jace, I was curious because I think it took some of us by surprise, at least when Jamar was kind of benched earlier in that game. Matt Corral comes in and plays well. I mean, Corral put you guys back in, at least some momentum offensively. But what was kind of the vibe on the sideline when everybody realized that Corral was going in and Jamar was benched, and just kind of seemed like kind of came unexpected to players and fans?
Dude, I didn't even know he got subbed. I was looking down because it wasn't my drive. I was like talking to Davion or something, and then I see a ball fly like 30 miles an hour to Dion. I'm like, damn, Jamar zipped that. And I looked and I saw it was Matt. I said, what the hell? I said, we subbed? And everybody's like, yeah. And I was like, shit. All right. The Michigan player's back, and then just didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Although we did score the most points, kept getting offensively this year. Like, I think how was the first 22? It was like 23. Yeah. I know we didn't score 29. I know that for a fact. And then last week we scored 26. So I mean, we kept getting better offensively. I just think you were right about Bryce.
They didn't want him to say it. Skip Oaks just took him out.
I will say something that Jace hit on a little bit, and this is a comparison that I would not make. I am a Ravens fan. Like, I do not make this lightly, but I think Bryce Perkins is like truly UFL Lamar Jackson, and it's a stylistic thing too, where, oh my God, I got cats out in the background. That's crazy. Yeah, they're fighting. I don't know. That's ridiculous, but it's a stylistic thing as much as it is like, hey, he's the best quarterback in the league, where that patient running style where he will, he's never quite running full speed and he'll just kind of, glide in and out. That's when I'm watching, then I'm like, man, this is, especially when they played DC, I was like, man, this is what it feels like, I guess. I'm used to rooting for this kind of player, but he just has this like effortlessness to his running style that I think really Lamar is the only person I've seen have that kind of unique trait to him, and knows when to get down too. He doesn't, obviously sometimes he'll do the hurdle, which is, its own thing, but when he's just like, when he sees the play's over, he'll give up and, get out of bounds, and doesn't take a ton of terrible hits if he's, not trying to hurdle a defender who's standing straight up, which is his own thing.
Oh.
There we go. We got Jace back. They didn't take him out. Oh, no audio.
His audio's still gone.
They're like, yeah, we'll give you.
got the league going after our personalities. Jason's audio is dead. Cats are being told by a psychosis type of mentality to take Thorn out.
You're not muted, but there's no audio coming out, Jace.
Either that, or because they're small Panthers that Nick's playing a dangerous game this week.
He's getting at. Is this your weird ritual? Did you lose audio too?
No, I'm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I was worried.
No, I was just waiting for my moment. Oh, here we go.
We good?
There we go.
There we go.
Yay!
I think the storm. I think it's about to get really storm. It's about to storm really bad over here where I'm at in Houston. So I'm blaming that on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they said I think we're about to get like 2 hours of storms. They're gonna be gnarly, so strap in.
But fun fact about me: anytime I've got eliminated from playoffs, where your coach tries to come in and like comfort you, and they're like, "Hey, the sun will come up tomorrow," it always storms the next day. I swear to God, I've never. And like it rained all last night in Dallas. I wake up, it's hot as shit. I'm like, oh yeah, it's for sure storming later. And then obviously it's like a black cloud around my house right now.
Unbelievable.
This is all James's fault.
I was about to say, it's definitely my fault somehow, some way.
Nah.
I made the call. This is your punishment, Jace, for
imposter Switzerland is causing a lot of problems.
No, it's okay. I really only joined because I was like, obviously I shouted out ref in the Discord the other day, but I don't think he acknowledged it. But it was okay. It was late. But I was like, I can't be a sore loser to Zach and Jake. I was like, I gotta show face. But you, the moral compass wasn't. There's no more moral compass in me and you. There's no moral compass. I was like, you know what? Let me be I don't want to be a loser to those two.
It's over.
Jace, it's all love, or maybe it's not, but
the dream.
On my
end,
it 100% is. I was gonna say something, but it would have for sure got clipped. You're good at playing along with the joke.
I was
gonna say you're good at taking it, but you can't say that anymore.
Crap.
Or, as you know, some people might be confused. They're like, well, I thought he was already with the Michigan team. How's he doing Birmingham too? You can only take it from one team, you know.
That's crazy. No, if your name's Jenna, you could take it from more than one team.
Oh my God.
What does it say?
Oh my God.
I don't even want to repeat what James said.
God.
It was.
Let me hear
it. You can go back and rewatch. I'm not saying that on tape again.
Does nurse ring a bell? I think I can say that much.
2023 was a unique year. Good old USFL.
Well, we're almost done with the
This
show.
is what happens when I'm on less than 4. I told you guys I was gonna be a little bit unhinged today.
This second hour has been
James.
unhinged
gold
from everyone. I got cats fighting in the background. James is saying whatever. James can't stay in the
over there.
ball.
Getting frisky.
Hold on, I'm just getting our points ready. Hold
I love
on, I'm just
whoever caught that joke. Like, there's like 0.5% of our listeners will get it. So,
if even that much.
Whoever did, props to you. You know who I'm talking about.
But. Future T-shirt coming.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So how about some points? Which I don't even want to talk about points. I wanted to just ignore them to maybe we wouldn't bring it up. But I was a little irrational last week. I was a little irrational with my points. And I have no points anymore. I put it all on the line for Birmingham. So did Ducky. Ducky and I.
Yeah.
We got no points. But we're gonna solve for that today.
Okay, sorry, that was the last time I'm leaving.
No, you're good.
I had to answer to the mother of the house.
Understandable.
Yeah, it was priorities. I was like, they'll understand.
Yeah.
Or I will not be a guest anymore.
Yeah, there you
go. Jace, I have to ask because the season is over and now this opportunity is no more. Do you want to tell around the UFL fans what your plan was to do to me had the Stallions won the game.
What are you talking about?
Damn it, you suck.
No, I'm playing. No, we were just gonna get a sick Photoshop of me chasing you down, like running to you, screaming, like pointing, and Ducky was gonna like capture it all, like the little flip book, where it just shows me like just running, and I was gonna like probably push him at the end of the day.
Speeding up on a midget was new.
Little people.
Oh, damn.
Little people. 2025.
Ay.
You don't want to offend UFL highlights with pronouns.
Oh. I don't know. Are we still here?
I think that's perfect time for points. As I was mentioning, Ducky and I are really shit out of luck on this season. We're both zeros because we put it all on the line. But you know what? In preparation for next year, I'm giving myself 12. Because that rasky old Roughnecks team, we're coming back fighting. I hate to break it to you, Jace, but next year's our year. This year we're 500% better than we were last year. And just imagine what next year's going to look like. James, you know, just because of that shitting eating grin that you gave Jace on the field, I'm going to dock some points from you. I'm going to dock 12 points from you.
It's the same one he's making now, Ref.
Words being thrown around.
But don't worry, you're still well ahead of everyone else, James, because you got those Ducky points earlier this year. You're sitting at 240.
Man, this is what I get for busting my ass and getting down to Birmingham.
You make a good point. You did drive all day today.
I was the only media member who asked any questions.
No, say what you were going to say. You said you were the only Michigan, and then you switched.
I heard it.
I was the only media member from Michigan down there.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to give you...
I live in Michigan.
I'm going to get... You know what? I take it back. So I'm going to give you your 12 points back. That puts you at 252. I like round numbers. I'll give you 18 because you know what? As much as I want to give James a hard time, yeah, there you go. There we go. You know what? That's the reason right there. No, you did drive.
What you were doing.
Let's
go.
James is the ATU winner.
So okay, so I'm at 270, but then next week we'll do a recount if Michigan loses, and they're all stripped.
All the points are coming in from Philadelphia, Detroit, Wisconsin. You're done. You're cooked. Anyway, we're getting. Why are we talking about? Politics?
You're holding points at ransom for no reason, then stopping. Like it just all fits together.
Ducky did try to get in here this week, and for that, I'm giving him 69 points
because he sent a text in a span of probably 3 seconds. He gets points.
He gets 69 points. The points that Ducky deserves. He put it all on the line twice this season. And you know what? Well, I guess not all on the line, but he put it on the line twice this season. And for that alone, it's worth 69. Zach?
And he was James's chauffeur today.
Yes, you know what? Yeah.
Well, yes and no. We both split.
Well,
Can't even let a man get some credit.
I think what actually happened is they took turns on who pressed the pedals with their hand while the other one steered.
Oh my God.
That's what I was thinking. When you said his hand was by the gas pedal, I was just like, oh, okay.
You never know where I'm going with it.
Isn't he a little too close to your, never mind.
You know what, Zach? I'm going to give you 20 points heading into the championship, what brings you to a crisp 200.
I love it.
Thorn, you know what? I'm going to give you 20 as well, just because your team, you know what? I think that's going to be the rule here. So that brings you up to 141. Jake, that brings you to 120. Jace, I mean, how many points? Should I give you points or I'm going to let you be the chooser of points for yourself.
That's great.
Honestly, I think you should don't deduct my points, but crazy enough, I think you should give Jameson not Baker, Larson, just because I have given him the most shit out of anybody this year, and he's never done a low blow on me when he could have. So I think for being a good sport,
low blows is all I can do. I'm 5'4".
Okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do.
So you're saying he's been
Yeah,
Yeah, you heard him say that all he
Thor's
does is
the only
low
one who
blows,
thought that
right?
was
You heard him that, right? We all heard him say all he does is low blows. Yeah, just making sure we
Can we
heard
end the
that.
stream already?
No, not yet. Because, and this isn't harsh,
no,
Jace.
Jace is just keeping it fresh. That's all he's doing.
I'm going to deduct 80 points from you, Jace. But that
Okay,
brings
that's fair.
you to 420. So there's
My
good
favorite
reason.
day of the year.
There we go. And that brings you up to 350, James. So I don't know. We might have to do a recount next week. Luke, should I give Luke points? He's at negative
He didn't
10.
even go to Birmingham.
You know what? I'm going to give him negative 20 for that. So Luke's at negative 30 on the season. Did he even show up for one show?
He has.
Okay. All right.
Although
I
we
like
might have
Luke
to,
anyway.
we might have to start having a PFN relegation session here pretty soon because
We're going to have a, what is it?
I'm
The,
waiting.
what is the thing that they do with the drug addicts when they bring them into a room? What's
Wait,
the thing?
what are you doing? Stop. What,
What do they call the thing? The
Intervention?
intervention. There you go. Thank you. You guys put me out. All right. Anyway, I think that's about it,
Like,
folks.
you gotta be on edge when you bring up like drug dealers and like.
I didn't know there was kids around in the background. Here I am. Anyway, I think that's that's probably the sign, guys. But you know what is definitive, and the one thing that we can say for sure as we close this show out